Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Cracked Open. I know it's been a while since I've posted anything or done any sort of content, uploads, or status updates. It's been a rough couple of weeks. And I didn't want to get on here and do the topics that I had planned out and lie. So I chose to take some time, reevaluate, and take a serious look at why I'm doing this and find the motivation to keep doing it. So today, I'm going to talk about the realities of postpartum depression, what it's like for me and my experience. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. So in the last video I made, we talked a little bit more about postpartum depression and what it actually is. So now that we've gone over all of the information and the facts and everything, I really want to talk more about the experience and how it's been for me. And partially why I have not uploaded anything in the last couple weeks. I really want to take some time to acknowledge the fact that if you have postpartum depression, or if you're suffering with anxiety or just generally being overwhelmed, that it's not a bad thing, especially when it comes to things like postpartum rage. I think we talked about it a little bit in the last episode. And I just want to go ahead and say it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you, it doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make that any of that true. It's simply a condition or a symptom of having a baby. It's a natural thing. It happens to so many women, and you're not alone. I, for a little while, refused to admit that I had postpartum depression, and it presented itself as mania. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't sitting down. I wouldn't stop moving. I couldn't think straight. Was forgetting things. And now, some of that's normal, so like the forgetting things is what we call it mom brain. And they say that it's because in your brain is physically making more room for you to love your baby. So you forget things that are seemingly less important than anything that has to do with your baby. So they call that mom brain. It's a scientific thing. It's a thing that happens for real. And most people aren't going to believe it. And that's fine. That's whatever, okay? But apparently it's a scientific thing that actually happens when moms have babies. Parts of their brain shrinks, whatever the part it is that manages memories and task operations and things like that. And the part of the brain that manages love, care, and all of that stuff enlarges, therefore making less room to remember things. It's super weird. I know it doesn't sound real, but apparently it's very real. So, and I've been experiencing it myself, so it has to be real, right? Or maybe I just don't know how to sit down. Maybe I'm just manic. Maybe I've just been in a bad place. And I had to take some time to really think about that before I admitted that I had postpartum depression. And I'm in a support group, and I'm in therapy, and I have a psychiatrist, and I'm taking my medications, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, after doing a couple episodes of my podcast, I crash. And I want to talk about that crash because that crash is a really important and really key part of the depression cycle, especially for myself. And it took me a really long time to realize this, even growing up with my bipolar, that when I crash hard. And so coming down from a manic episode and coming down from being manic depressive and doing all these things, it's a hard crash. It manifests itself in ways that I don't even realize that it's happening until it's too late. So what does that crash look like for me? Well, for me, that crash looks like forgetting to take my medicine, forgetting to sleep, sleeping too much, eating way too much, eating the wrong things way too much specifically, and then ending up having, it always ends up having an emergency room visit because I don't know what's wrong with my body. I don't know what's going on. Well, my body is reacting from the fact that I've not been taking care of myself. I've been eating junk food. I've been not sleeping. I haven't been exercising. I haven't been doing the things that I need to do to take care of myself. I haven't been taking my medicine. All of these things compound and they collect and they collect and they collect. And then I wonder why I'm not feeling good. You know, moms, we wonder why we don't feel good after years and years and years of not taking care of ourselves. And it's really important that we stop and we take a step back and realize that if we don't take care of ourselves, there's no possible way we can take care of another living being, especially a baby that requires so much loving care and attention. And if we're not learning how to care for ourselves and how to take a step back and how to reevaluate things, then we aren't teaching them how to do that themselves. And they will become adults who are people pleasing, and they will become adults who just are self-neglected. And it's really important that we don't do that. So I want to talk about today what the last couple weeks has looked like for me and what it looked like for me in the beginning. So in the beginning, it started with, like I said, not being able to sit down, not being able to remember things. You know, I did pretty good with taking my medicine for a really long time. I was really proud of myself for that, and I was really proud of myself for being honest with my psychiatrist about what I was going through, what I was experiencing, and things like that, so I could get the right dosage and I could get the right medication to help me manage and cope with what I was going through. That I was very proud of myself, and I just have to acknowledge myself for that, because that's a really hard thing, especially for me to do, because after years and years of working on this and having bipolar and trying to wean myself off of the medicine with my doctors, it felt like a really big step back when I had to go back up on a max dosage of a medication that I was hoping never to take again, like that I was really hoping I wouldn't need. But I need it, and that's just the simple fact, is that I need it. It's just what helps me. It's just what my life is right now. And that doesn't mean that I'm always going to be on this medication. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be dependent on it for the rest of my life. I just need it right now. It's just something I need to cope with right now. So after having explained that to my doctor and having gone through all of that and then being put back on the max dose of this medication, which is the lithium, and having all of that, then it came to, oh crap, I'm not sleeping. And trying to manage sleep. And then now there's this baby that won't sleep all the way through the night. And everyone else's baby is sleeping all the way through the night. So what's wrong with mine? There's nothing wrong with your baby. Every baby is different. So when you can't sleep and then you're sleeping during the day, but then you have people telling you need to get up. You can't sleep during the day. You can't do that. You can't live a life like that. It's kind of hard, because honestly, sometimes you just need to sleep. And when you're not getting it at night, you need to get it somewhere, because not having sleep is the biggest thing for me when it comes to triggers for manic and bipolar episodes for me. So manic and depressive episodes for me are triggered by lack of sleep, insomnia, different things like that. So when you're constantly being judged and being told you can't sleep during the day, you need to get up, you need to do something, you're being lazy, different things like that, it's not helpful. It's actually more hurtful than it is helpful, because now you're forcing yourself to stay awake when you can't. You're forcing yourself to cope with something when you can't, and you're forcing yourself to do something that you really don't need to do. You don't need to get up and do something all the time. Every minute of the day does not need to be filled with an activity. I had to learn that, because I was like, I need to get up, I need to do something, I need to go somewhere, I need to do this, because God forbid someone call me lazy who's not living my life. You know, God forbid that someone look at me who doesn't live my life, who doesn't raise my son, who doesn't do any of the things that I do on a daily basis, and doesn't have any of these things on their to-do list. God forbid they sit there and judge me. Who cares? Who cares what they think? None of that matters at the end of the day. All that matters is that you're doing what you need to do for yourself to raise your baby. That's it. That's the only thing that matters. And if I'm being totally honest, I spent way too long. My son is only 4 months old, but I still spent way too many of those 4 months sitting there worried about what other people were going to say about me when I have to do what I have to do. So, after all of that, the crash came. My crash looked like forgetting to take my medicine, not taking it often or as often as I needed to, not taking it every day, and then eventually to not taking it at all. Why? Not because I didn't want to take it. Of course I want to take my medicine. It's the only thing that was keeping me straight. It's the only thing helping me. But when I'm sorry, he just pulled my shirt and yanks me back. But anyway, when I'm sitting here and I'm not getting sleep and I'm sleeping in too much when I finally do get sleep, because those mid-morning naps are a godsend, let's just say that. So I can't take my medication at 6 or 7 a.m. because I just took it at midnight, right? So I have to wait until 11 a.m. to take it. So when we have a mid-morning nap at 10:30 and I sleep past 11 into 12:30, 12:45, and now it's the afternoon, now I can't take my medication. And when you say, oh, I'll take it tonight, and then you have bath time, and then you have dinner time, and then you fall asleep putting the baby to sleep, and then you wake up and you realize it's 1 a.m. You can't take your medicine again. And that cycle just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. Or then there's, I need to get something to eat. You know you're not going to get anything to eat this morning. Grab a banana, take your medication. That's as simple as that. And I keep finding excuses and kept finding reasons why I wasn't taking care of myself. And it just wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. And I tried to convince myself that if I take care of this baby, I don't have to take care of myself, because if I'm keeping him alive, it doesn't matter what I do for myself. That is so wrong. It's a backwards way of thinking, that as long as the baby's okay, you're okay. No, as long as you're okay, that baby's okay. That's how it goes. The way it really goes is you take care of yourself, you take care of the baby, because that baby wants to see you happy and thriving and healthy, and they'll be happy and thriving and healthy, because if mom's okay, then I'm okay. These babies feed off of our energy, and they feed off of what we're doing and how we're doing. I'm convinced that my son knows how I'm feeling before I do, because he will react to my presence in a way that shocks me. If I'm sad and I'm trying to smile in his face, he won't smile back. If I've gotten plenty of sleep that night and I'm bright and happy and energetic, he's bright and happy and energetic. But I'll notice on those mornings where I'm not doing so well that he won't smile back at me, and I just can't figure out why he's not smiling back at me. And sometimes he'll just grab my face and hold my face for a minute. And I love those moments when he grabs my face and holds my face. And it brightens me up and it lifts me up. And he's happy and he's smiling and he's thriving and all these things. And, you notice how much your health reflects on your baby. So once you've noticed all these signs, and after all of this, what do you do to make it stop? How can you manage enough and pull yourself together enough to halt progression of this depressive episode? You can't. And it took me a while to realize that. And a while is not just a couple days, it's weeks. It took me at least 2 weeks to realize I can't just make it stop. I have to do something. I have to do something to help myself get out of this. It's a gradual thing, because I didn't just get here because it just started. I got here over a series of actions, a series of decisions, and a series of triggers that got me to this point. So there's no way that I can just make it all stop. It's like a train. It has to slow down before it stops. So how do I slow this down is the real question. What can I do to slow the progression of this depression? And wow, that sounds like some sort of slogan or saying, but it's really not. It's the truth. What can I do to slow the progression of this depression? And the answer is take my medication. Take your medicine. Get some sleep. Eat breakfast. The simple little things. Taking 3 pills in the morning can literally change your day. Take your medication. Take care of yourself. Take a shower maybe. Showering every day has been a struggle because making myself get up and get in the shower has been a hidden struggle that I'm not sure. I don't even think my husband or my dad or anyone who lives with me has seen it, because I seem to somehow manage in the mornings to get myself up, get ready, get Mateo ready, and pull it together before I leave this room, before I leave the house, because I don't want anyone else to see what I'm going through. I don't want anyone else to be worried about me. And honestly, I think that's been my biggest issue. Worrying about what other people are going to think, worrying about what other people are going to say, and worrying about making other people worry. If they worry, that's on them. That's not my responsibility. It may be my problem when it's brought up to me, but it's not my responsibility. So, realizing that these things don't have any direct effect on me has been really hard. And it's been a lesson that I've had to learn, and having to realize that just because someone says something doesn't make it true. Just because someone thinks I'm lazy doesn't make it true, because I know I'm not lazy. I know I'm hardworking. I know when I put my mind to something, I do it. Everything that I say I'm going to do, I do it with intention. So, I intend on doing everything that I say. But, if I don't get to something, I don't get to it. And that's okay, because I work really hard to try to keep myself together. I work really hard to take care of my son. And I think it's okay sometimes to just have a moment of forgetfulness, because everybody has it, because I'm human. And I think that's the biggest part. I just forget sometimes. I forget that I am human. So forget what everyone else is going to say about you. Don't worry about it. They are not you. They are not living your life. They are not raising your child. They are not the ones who are doing the things that you do on a daily basis. They don't have to deal with any of these thoughts that are in your mind. They don't have to deal with any of it. So forget them. Forget them. So I got a little bit off track here. So what I'm really saying is that taking care of yourself, and for me taking care of myself, is the best way to pull myself out of depression. And it's a gradual pull. Again, like I said, it's not a race, it's a marathon. So when you think about these things and people are telling you, stop being sad, stop doing this, or the opposite, people are telling you, you need to do something, you need to get up, you're being lazy, you're doing this, you're doing all of these things, none of it is helpful. So what I say to them is, forget you, you're not me, and you move on. You forget them, and even if it's someone who loves you, who doesn't mean to say these things, who doesn't mean to put trigger you, who doesn't mean to make you feel bad, it's just how they think, because they are not you. Again, it is your problem, but it is not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to make them think any different. It's not your responsibility to make them see you in a different light. It's not. That's their own problem. So what am I saying with all of this? So the last few weeks for me has been really rough. And I just want to get into one last thing before I end this podcast. And the last subject I want to get into is postpartum rage. Because honestly, for me, I think that's been my biggest struggle, rather than just being depressed or being manic, which is something that I go through regardless of having a baby, regardless of postpartum, regardless of my recovery. It's the postpartum rage that has really, really been prevalent, and the postpartum rage that I've honestly been more embarrassed to talk about. So I'm going to get into that. Postpartum rage. Oh, okay. Where do we start? For me, it was a topic that was really embarrassing. It's something that I've always been embarrassed to talk about. Not always. I haven't always had postpartum rage. I have had self-anger issues in the past, where I get frustrated with myself, or I get mad at myself. And, as a little kid, you get mad and you don't think you have anger issues. You just throw a pillow at the wall because you don't want your parents to hear it, But it's different when you're an adult, because when you're an adult, everyone's watching you. Everyone's waiting to see how you react to things, and everyone's waiting to see, can she manage? Can she do it? Is she strong enough? And honestly, when it comes to this thing, it's not about how strong you are. It's not about how much you can handle. It's just a symptom of the cause. It's just a symptom of having a baby sometimes. Your emotions are out of whack. Your hormones are still going crazy. You're still adjusting to real life again. So when we talk about postpartum rage, we don't want it to be a thing where we seek judgment and where these things come in like that. So what I just want to be honest about is that it has been probably the hardest thing that I've had to manage about this whole recovery process. It's the thing that I can't control. And no matter how hard I want to control it, no matter how many times I apologize for yelling at someone, no matter how many times I want to break things, no matter how many times I throw the pillow at the wall or I scream at the top of my lungs or anything like that, there's nothing I could have done to stop it, if I'm being completely honest. I'm in therapy, I'm in a support group, I am, I have medication, even though I haven't been taking it in the past couple weeks, but it's just a thing that has really, really had a hold on me. And I'm not exactly sure why this is the one that's most prevalent, but I honestly believe it's because I had a lot of anger and I had a lot of things like that piled up before I was pregnant, and then during my pregnancy, and then post-pregnancy. I had a lot of anger and I had a lot of resentment towards different people, different things, different parts of my life, different decisions, just all sorts of things. And it's all manifested itself in one reaction. I have no other reaction. I have no, okay, let's talk about it. I have no calm, quiet, peaceful reaction to these things anymore. It all comes out in just rage. I'm so angry all the time. I can't sleep. I'm angry. I can't eat. I'm angry. I can't sit down for 5 seconds. I'm angry. And I hate it when people sit there and they hear me or they see me react or they do anything like that and they go, "Why are you yelling at the baby? He didn't do anything to you." I'm not yelling at the baby. Okay, no one yells. I don't yell ever directly at my baby. I may yell in the room with my baby. I may yell outside the room with my baby. I'm never mad at my baby. He didn't do anything. He didn't deserve this. He didn't ask for this life. He literally just showed up here one day and that was it for him. He was here. He didn't do anything to me. So when he doesn't sleep and when he doesn't do all these things, I'm never mad at him. I'm mad at the situation. And there's a difference, and I wish people would try to understand that. Because judging me in that moment doesn't help me in that moment. It doesn't change anything about what's going on. As a matter of fact, it only makes it worse. So what I'm saying is, if you know someone who has postpartum rage, first of all, I just want to say this first, because we're almost done here. But if you know someone who's going through postpartum rage, or you know someone who has these kinds of reactions, please, for the love of cheese, please do not tell them to calm down. Do not tell them, don't yell at the baby. Don't yell at the baby. They're not yelling at the baby. Do not tell them, hey, it's not that big a deal. Saying it's not that big a deal is the biggest form of minimization I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know if minimization is a word, but I'm making it a word today. It's a word here today on this podcast, okay? Minimization. We are not going to minimize. We are not going to sit here and legitimize and illegitimize the feelings that are real in that moment. They are real in that moment, therefore they are real to me. So what I want to say about that is, if they're real to me, then they're real. If it's real to me, then it's real. So all in all, postpartum depression is a hard thing to go through. It's really hard, and there's so many different aspects to it. There's the rage, there's the insomnia, there's the depression, there's the mania, there's all of these different aspects to it, and people don't see that there's all these different sides to having postpartum depression. They just mean, oh, you're sad sometimes. Oh, you cry sometimes. And yes, I do cry. I cry all the time, but it doesn't mean that I'm sad. It just means I have no idea what I'm going through. It just means this is not the life that I envisioned. This isn't what I imagined having a baby would be like. It's honestly, for me at least, it's honestly more so of a long period of mourning what I imagined this would be like. It's mourning an idea, because that idea is gone once it's reality. Once something is real, once it's actually happening, the idea of it is gone. It's dead. So the idea of getting sleep at night is gone. The idea of being able to eat a meal on my own without someone taking my food, without someone interrupting me every 5 seconds and me taking 30 minutes to eat something that I could have eaten in 10 minutes, and now it's cold. That idea of eating a hot meal while it's hot is gone. The idea of not getting spit up on all the time is gone. The idea of being clean all the time is gone. The idea of being able to shower on my own without rushing is gone. All of these things are gone. They were ideas. They were cute ideas, you know. They were nice while they lasted, but they're over now. Now I'm living in a reality that I didn't imagine was going to be real. Now I'm living in a life of having a baby that I didn't imagine was going to happen. So it's mourning the thoughts and mourning the ideas of what you thought was going to be. And now you're having to figure it out all by yourself. And that's stressful and it's overwhelming. And sometimes a release of that emotion is good. It's good to just let it out. Don't hold it in. Don't do what you think you should do because other people are telling you should do it. Just because someone else is saying, don't cry, don't do that. It's not that big a deal. If it's a big deal to you, then it's a big deal. Okay? So if you want to cry, if you want to go outside and scream, if you want to go mess something up, go to a rage room, go do something crazy. Buy some plates and write down everything that's bothering you and break them, shatter them. Somewhere safe, of course. Go somewhere safe, you know? Don't shatter them in your driveway. That's not smart. But do something crazy. Go get a vase that you hate. Buy a vase that you absolutely hate from like the dollar store or something, you know? Don't buy an expensive vase just to break it, okay? That's different. But what I'm saying is it's okay to react to what you're going through. Because the truth is, and the fact of the matter is, you are going through something. This is something that you are going through. This is an experience that only you will have. No single person who is a mother is going to go through the same experience as another person. They're all going to be different. So there's anyone else who's not living your life, anyone else who's not going what you go through, whether, I didn't have postpartum depression. Good for you. Oh, my kids were angels. They slept all night. Great for you. I'm so happy for you. You know, shut up and get out of my face. You know, that's how it feels sometimes. So all I'm saying is, one, if you're someone who doesn't have kids, don't say anything. Ask what they need. That's what we need in that moment. Do you need anything from me? Is there anything that I can do? Do you need a moment I can take the baby? You know, it's that simple. It's as simple as being a decent person and offering what you can offer, because you can't fix the problem. So saying, can I fix it? What can I do to fix it? Doesn't help, because there's nothing I can do to fix it. And that's just another thing I have to worry about, hurting your feelings when I tell you to please leave me alone. Helping you feel useful when you need to feel useful. You know what? If you need to feel useful, take the baby. If you need to feel useful, please get me some water. If you need to feel useful, I need to step out for a moment. You know? So those are things that are helpful and not hurtful. It's hurtful to tell me to calm down. It's hurtful to tell me it's not a big deal. It's hurtful to all that. It invalidates how I'm feeling. It invalidates the situation that I'm in, because it's real to me. And we just talked about this. And I want someone to write that down. If it's real to me, then it is real. It is real. It is your experience. It's what you feel. It's what you're going through in that moment. Do not minimize your experience. Do not invalidate your emotions. So, how are we going to end this today? We're going to end it today by saying postpartum depression absolutely sucks and is the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm so sorry for not posting anything the last couple of weeks. I've been going through it. I've been in the trenches. I've been fighting a battle that no one else has actually seen. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to hear this and they're going to want to reach out and they're going to contact. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm getting through it. We're good. Me and Tato are doing great. And Tato is just what I call my son. His name is Mateo. And Tato is just a cute little nickname because he's my little sack of potatoes. He's 15 pounds now, and he's a 15-pound sack of potatoes. If he was still this size by Halloween, I would literally put him in a potato sack and call it his costume. But what am I saying? I'm saying that it's okay to feel how you're feeling. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Write it down and feel it. You know, if you need to put it on a sign and just say, feel it, and step outside and let yourself feel it, then let yourself feel it. It's a normal thing that everybody goes through. well, not everybody goes through it, but it's a normal thing that many, many women goes through, as we went through the statistics the last time we talked about this, and they are astounding, and it's really sad to see that many women go through this. And you can do, if you're not going through it, you can do something to support someone who is. We went over all the things that you could do, and we went over those things, and I just want this to be helpful, and I hope that this episode helps somebody, and I hope that this lets you know that you're not alone. If you're going through it, or if you've been through it, you are not alone. It's not just you, okay? And to all the people out there who are judgmental, and to all the people out there who are doing that, just don't. Just don't. If you don't have anything nice to say, my mama always told me, don't say anything at all. So, this has been great. This has been fun. And this is also how I'm going to be doing the rest of my podcast, because setting up and doing all of this recording for a whole day is not realistic for me. And I just had to admit that. I can't be one of these podcast girlies that have a cute setup. I can't do this, at least not until my son is older. So this is how we're going to be for a little while. I hope it's still enjoyable. I hope you guys still like it. And yeah, thanks for listening. Bye. We'll see you next week.